Yeah, so, whoa, what's going on, dude? What's fucking happening? I was out there doing deliverables, and I found me a fat-ass reishi mushroom like this. I found like two of them. One of them was about this big, the other one was about maybe this big, and then another smaller one that was growing on top of that one. And boy, do I tell you, they actually had spores coming off of them. If you know anything about reishi, they kind of spread. This, we are in January right now. So those reishi mushrooms have been there for quite some time, because usually when I find the reishis, I'll pluck them out of the ground late October, maybe, November. Usually in December, it's getting kind of late. But I found this one in January. I've never found one that late. Usually by then, they're shriveled up. They're hard to get out of the ground. They're all dried up and they're ruined. Sometime around, even September. I've picked them as early as September. And nice fat one I found in New Haven one time, or New Haven County somewhere. Big giant reishi. I always take a picture. I didn't take a picture of this last one. But they were still soft. Like when you grab a reishi mushroom, you squeeze it. It's kind of spongy. It's hard. It almost has a wood texture, but it's spongy. And this one was actually really spongy. And I made a strong cup. Show you how much I harvested, man. The reason why I like reishi mushroom the most is because it's so relaxing. It's one of the most relaxing out of the mushrooms. I notice with, because I try all the medicinal mushrooms, chaga has more of a detoxing effect to it. I think chaga is probably really good for detoxification and maybe a few other things. But what I feel, I had these chaga mushrooms one time my cousin gave me, and I made a strong tea. And I remember my elimination was, I was like, whoa. Like, did this chaga did that to me? Like, my elimination process was immaculate. I was like, wow, I feel like 10 pounds lighter, but I almost felt like I couldn't drink that on the regular because of, needing to use the bathroom. But I drank it a couple of times, and the same thing happened. Like, if you're backed up and you need to eliminate some stuff, chaga is like a miracle. Forget all that other stuff over the counter, all those synthetic garbage. Use chaga mushroom. And then cordyceps. Cordyceps is another mushroom. Cordyceps is good for energy. Cordyceps are like these little skinny mushrooms. They grow in bunches. But cordyceps, actually don't mind the taste of cordyceps. But I notice when I take cordyceps, it's not like a noticeable energy. I think it's more of a subtle energy. It's definitely nothing like caffeine. If you're expecting a caffeine boost from it, it's not going to give you that. Although I think coupled with caffeine may be good, because the cordyceps mushroom is known to help your body intake more oxygen or utilize oxygen better. So I notice it's subtle. It's very subtle. And then you have lion's mane mushroom. Lion's mane is good for the brain and the cognition. Now, from what I understand, you do have to take a lot of it to really get some noticeable benefits from it. But lion's mane can get pretty expensive. If you're taking 2 teaspoons of that every day, it adds up, man. I didn't really notice much with lion's mane. I didn't notice much at all. What was the other ones? Shiitake, and then you have maitake, I think it is. Turkey tail is another one. I do love the way shiitake mushrooms taste. That's like my favorite. And oyster mushrooms. Oh, oyster mushrooms are bomb. But I'll say my favorite mushroom out of every single mushroom is the reishi mushroom. It is almost like if you haven't taken ashwagandha in a while and you take it at night, you sleep really well. Ashwagandha has a nice calming effect to it. Reishi mushroom's very similar to that, but I think it's more beneficial than ashwagandha. I think reishi mushroom is just... And a lot of people like reishi mushroom more than all the other mushrooms. Reishi is like the king, man. So try, like, I know exactly, when I find a reishi mushroom outside, when I'm out and about, I know exactly what they look like. You don't have to worry too much because there's really no poisonous lookalikes to a reishi mushroom. They all pretty much look the same. Different variations here and there, but they're not poisonous, so you don't have to worry about any other mushrooms that look poisonous. You know, there's a lot of other mushrooms that you have to be careful with because you can mistake them for a poisonous mushroom and then you'll be really sorry if you eat them. Now, I stick to foraging reishi only because of the reason I don't want to take a risk on, you know, other mushrooms. Although, a dog, get this, dogs can tell which mushrooms are poisonous. I had a dog one time, and the dog was just chowing down on mushrooms that were growing in the yard. I'm like, what is he doing? Where is he getting all this? I'm looking outside, I'm like, there's this big patch of mushrooms, and he's just ripping them out of the ground, chugging them down. And I'm like, okay, so he's not sick. He tested them out. He's been eating them. Let me try these. I picked a nice, rinsed them off, and I tried them. I ate some of the mushrooms. They were actually good. Wild mushrooms taste so good. Like they're better than the ones you buy in the store because they're natural. They're organic. They grew in the yard, you know. And then I cooked some of them too, and I ate them with eggs or something like that. They were really good. So that's how you can tell. I mean, dogs know. If a dog won't eat it, it must be poison. When do you ever hear about a dog accidentally getting poisoned by a mushroom? You don't really hear that. You see, the intelligence of animals sometimes is smarter than humans. Do you think a human being can go up to a mushroom and tell automatically without any further knowledge or study on mushrooms whether it's poisonous or not? Maybe at one point we did when our brains weren't so clouded by all the chemicals on the grocery store shelves and all the other stuff that we cloud our mentalities with. But man, the reishi mushroom, you have to try it. If you haven't tried reishi mushroom, man, you have to try it. It makes chamomile look like a waste of time, to be honest with you. And I drink chamomile tea at night. Chamomile doesn't really help me sleep, but it helps me relax at night, which I guess could help me sleep. You see, the thing with me is, at night, my mind is very active. I don't know if it has to do with a lot of the stimulation during the day or whatever food I was eating or caffeine. But my mind is just so active at night that sometimes I just don't want to go to sleep. And sometimes I just can't go to sleep. So the reishi mushrooms, the chamomile tea, the ashwagandha, these things will bring me down a little bit. It'll slow all that mental activity that's going on. You know, I start thinking of all the things I want to do, and it's just it's just rapid fire. So, and my body actually wants to unwind and just chill. So that's where the reishi comes in. I think the reishi mushroom is just a powerful superfood. One of my favorites. Give it a try. If you don't want to pick it out of the ground when you find them. They're hard to find too sometimes. I think you got to go in the hemlock forest where a lot of the trees have fallen, or some of the trees have been cut down. Most of the times when I find a reishi mushroom, it's on a tree stump. Usually maybe a hemlock tree, or maybe certain oak trees, I think are most common, but I'm pretty sure it's hemlock trees that are the most common. So yeah, I mean, you can also buy them. Every time, I will say this though, every time I buy reishi mushroom, even the whole mushroom, when they slice it in pieces and you make your own tea out of it, that's the best way to have reishi mushroom. If you're buying like capsules and tinctures and all this other garbage, it's the beta glucans and that stuff is so minimal. You can't, like, when you pick a reishi from the ground and you harvest it yourself, you dry it out, and you brew a tea with it, you can tell the difference. There's a huge difference. But if you get the whole fruit, and you know, because you can buy them in strips and everything, break them up, brew them for maybe an hour or 2 hours, and enjoy it as a nice warm tea, or you can cool it and have it as a cold tea. But there's no comparison to when you pick it yourself. They're very hard to find, but if you can grab yourself a reishi mushroom, do it. I see them sometimes in people's yards, like deep in their yards, and I'm not about to go in somebody's yard and grab their reishi mushroom. I used to go door knocking for solar, and I would knock on people's doors to pitch solar, and I would hope they answer the door, not only so that I can pitch them the solar, but so that I can ask, hey, do you what are you gonna do with those mushrooms by that tree stump over there in your yard? Do you know those are reishi? I was gonna tell them. If they don't have an idea, I was gonna say, hey, do you mind if I take those? Because I love reishi mushroom, man. But man, just wanted to share that because I enjoyed a nice reishi tea. Thought it was pretty cool. All right, so that's about it. Enjoy the night, and we'll see you on another video, man. Check out some of my other videos, and if you have any experience foraging any other mushrooms, let me know in the comment section. Give me some tips. I'm kind of weary as to what kind of mushrooms I can find. I've never found chaga mushroom, and I found turkey tail. I saw turkey tail, but I didn't grab it. Whatever. Maybe I'll make this more of a hobby as the years go on. Peace. I'm out of here.